What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Alright guys, we have had a chance to now try out Zenless Zone Zero. We did a live feed, so go check that out if you're interested in the game. But I do want to come back to SLA real quick and just show my appreciation for this game. So, I'm not going to lie to you guys. This has been an interesting month. We have had a couple games come out, a couple big games come out as a matter of fact. Ones that were meant to pretty much shake the foundation of gacha gaming in general, right? Then we're talking about Wuthering Waves. We're talking about now Zenless Zone Zero. And honestly, I'm going to be real with you guys. Every time I try a new game out, I come back to SLA and I really come to appreciate what SLA does different than most games that are currently out right now. And as much as people want to say that SLA is a crazy time killer and it's too long to do dailies and it takes forever to do this and that and that. Honestly, after trying out so many of the other games like Wuwa and now Zenless Zone Zero, I have to say there's a lot of filler stuff in those games that I don't appreciate and that don't respect time. And I can only say a couple of those things can happen in SLA or do happen in SLA. The biggest filler, I think, in SLA really comes down to two different modes. One is being the gates, which they've honestly done a better job making, more time friendly. And the other one is, in my opinion, is POD, which is the power of destruction, the dragon, right? Which I think they're also looking to make easier, less time consuming. Now, the reason why I appreciate this so much every time I come back to SLA is the fact that whenever I'm playing this game, I feel like the impact I have on this game on a daily basis is easily seen. Whether it's the increase in CP, increase in content, defeating a stage I've never done before, etc. And at the same time, that whole aspect of fillers is a big deal. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about, okay? I was playing Zenless Zone Zero, loving the combat, loving it, just getting into it. And then all of a sudden, we get into the story mode, campaign mode, and all of a sudden they have this thing called the TV mode, which completely derails the entire, combat experience you have. Because you go into this puzzle mode, and you're, running around in this, weird TV section, trying to, find all these tokens, these currencies. And at the end of the day, all you're doing is you're getting to this point where you have to fight something anyways. And I've been saying this for so long. I am so damn glad that SLA doesn't do it that way. And I mean it. You guys can't imagine how hard it was for me to do One Punch Man World and have the entire section be midway open world with little puzzles here and there to look for and all this other jazz. I'm so happy that SLA is not built that way. And I know some of you guys might be like, Payne, you're crazy, but listen, I'm gonna be real. I've played so many MMOs in my life where I've had to fetch water, fetch apples, kill hogs, just the grind. The grind is crazy in those kind of games. And a lot of it is in fact filler. It's filler, and by what I mean by filler is things that don't really have a actual purpose in the game, and they could eliminate is just get straight to the point. And some filler content is okay. I don't mind all filler content, or I don't hate all filler content, but SLA does it to the point where literally gates is the worst part. Literally, I can't think of anything worse than the gates besides, my opinion, Path of Destruction, or Power of Destruction, which I can't stand anyways. But in every other regard, I find SLA just respects your time. So every time I come back to this game, guys, every time I play a new game, I just come back and I appreciate SLA more. Now, I'm not saying that Zenless Zone Zero is a bad game. I'm still going to cover it because I love the combat. And I think it's just too early to be dismissing it the way you guys may think I'm doing. I'm not dismissing it. I'm just coming back and showing my appreciation for a game that I currently cover that I think does everything so much better. So much better. So a lot of people were asking me, what would I choose would I choose SLA versus ZZZ? I would honestly choose SLA in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Whether it's from character design, which actually ZZZ does a good job of, by the way. Some people are not in love with the lolly characters, which essentially are kitty looking characters. I don't mind those because at the end of the day, they look badass. They're built. The graphics are really nice. But one thing I have to say, someone said it best. For some odd reason, that game felt very claustrophobic. Somebody said that, and it was an interesting comment because this game, for example, is very much linear, but it doesn't feel claustrophobic. Like the areas are fairly large. Like look at this, even the subway, right, which is a small area in the game, has like a wide area you can travel through, has giant pillars in the place. You know, you can move around left and right. Where in ZZZ, I think the comment made a lot of sense to me at the time, because when you were in like the train station, everything was condensed. Like the trains were kind of smushed together. You didn't really have a chance to move left and right. It was just more like there's a little path for you to go through, and then you can move up, that kind of scenario. And I felt that. I felt very claustrophobic. On top of that, the town itself is very, very condensed. Now, normally that's not a problem, but again, it's just too small. There's such, it's, you remember, have you ever seen Zoolander, where Will Ferrell shows Derek Zoolander that center for ants? Remember that? The little structure, and then Zoolander goes, "What is this? A center for ants?" Literally, what I feel like you feel like you're so small, you're just kind of like traversing through this little land of like tiny little people, and that's what it feels like with that game. So, I will say this: Zenless Zone Zero has incredible combat, like amazing combat. We're talking about like Punishing Grey Raven kind of combat, which I think they've done a good job. And a lot of people feel another issue with the game though is that it feels really dead. Like not dead, but like really easy. Like the mobs don't move and they don't do anything, right? It's like it's almost like you're beating up on a dummy, which is true. You can set it to hard mode or challenging mode and play a harder version of it. But the problem is then it comes down to like what benefits do you have besides just the challenging mode? Like, is there better drops? No, there isn't. It's just a matter of just a more challenging version of the game. So again, I find like this game does, like SLA does it so well, because even though it's not like super challenging, there is enough of a challenge for you to feel like you're actually putting in some work, and the mobs are semi alive and doing things, right? So again, I think I come to appreciate SLA so much more. So for those who were asking yesterday, is ZZZ better than SLA? No, not at all. Not at all. As a matter of fact, I don't think any game so far that I've played comes even close to Solo Leveling Arise when it comes down to combat, gameplay, overall structure, character design. I think everything does so much better in SLA. Now, I'm not saying that the combat and everything is better. I think the combat is fantastic in ZZZ, just like I thought the game was amazing for WUA. The problem is there's just too much, again, fillers and gaps in between for all of them. So, for example, if I'm looking to get gear here, yes, the gear system, when it comes down to getting substats and stuff, suck. I agree with that fully with you guys, but that's part of every gacha game. And at least it takes like, I don't know, 5 minutes to get gear versus like having to hunt for echoes, or in ZZZ's regard, like having to do all these missions, these combats, these simulations, which I mean, at the end of the day are very similar to SLA. They just aren't structured as well. And I find that it's just not as rewarding. So at the end of the day, guys, I come to appreciate this game more and more the more I play it. Seriously, like there's nothing out there right now I think that can touch this game when it comes down to its overall structure, its overall like design, and the devs themselves. Like I thought the pull percentages were bad in some games. Then I played ZZZ, and it's like 6% to get an S rank. So it's gonna be very hard for free-to-play players to like get something they want right away. They're gonna have to put in a lot of effort to get themselves quite a few tokens in order to get going. And with SLA, they gave you a lot of tokens to begin with the challenges, the codes, and everything else that came with the game. So again, I'm not trying to suck up here to SLA. I'm just spades of spades. I'm just calling it as it is. The game is just doing everything so damn well that it's hard to play another game right now and not compare them to this one and hope that the devs from the other games learn a little bit of something from this. So again, SLA coming out on top. I have to say, I'm still going to play ZZZ. I'm still going to make guides for it. But I have to say, guys, I think I come to appreciate this game more and more every single time another game comes out. It tries to compete with it. And it's not directly competing with it, because I don't think most games are trying to compete with SLA. But in most of our minds, that's, I think, where our head's at. Like, is this game better than SLA? And quite honestly, right now, call me crazy if you want, and that's fine. I'll accept it, because everyone has their own opinions on it. I don't think anything comes close to being as good as SLA in terms of whatever it offers, especially from a time management perspective. I think this game does that better than anything out there right now with the amount of rewards that it gives and how good the devs have made it, plus all the new content coming. So again, that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have played ZZZ, if you're still playing WoWa, how do you guys feel? Do you guys still find SLA to be better, worse? Where do you guys rank it? I just want to hear what you guys have to say about it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.